On the line, we have Tebogo, Letsie, who's the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for taking time for us. And what we didn't show there was also how you repeatedly spoke about how she was or wasn't answering questions, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's clear this one out first. She was chewing and people were taking exception to what she was doing, but she took to social media afterwards to say she actually had the permission to eat. Was that indeed the case?
No, not good afternoon, Vuyo, to yourselves and the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. Thanks for having us. Maybe let's give context first. I think it's very easy these days for things to be taken out of context, and we have a responsibility to bring things into context. So we met on Friday the 30th. The meeting started at 9 a.m. and it was scheduled to finish at 1 p.m. But because we had a lot of issues that members wanted to raise, the meeting could not finish at 1 p.m. I did acknowledge that people do have comorbidities. They've got, some of them probably have diabetes, they've got high blood, so they need to eat. And I did say, because we're running out of time, we will ask those who have finished asking questions, they can grab something to eat. And then those who are still going to answer, let's try and wait until the meeting was done. The minister did indicate, I think, on 2 occasions that she probably needed to eat. We had said we're giving them 5 minutes to grab something quickly, and then that is when she was caught eating there. The intention was not to disrespect our people at home or students who do not have their allowances on NSFAS. I think maybe the questions that we asked to the minister were too quick whilst she was finishing eating there. She has apologized to myself and indicated that she will also apologize because people are taking it out of context, that she probably meant to disrespect people by eating whilst in a meeting.
Could you not, have taken the break you were talking about, like give her, let's say, 10 minutes, say, grab something and you can finish the rest of your food a little later? Even with the benefit of hindsight, do you don't think that perhaps that's what you ought to have done or agreed to?
No, I agree that maybe 5 minutes was too short. We could have extended it to 10 or 15 minutes. In hindsight, we agree maybe that we should take responsibility for not allowing people enough time to finish eating during that break.
Yeah, because a lot of people consider it to be something rude to actually be talking while you are eating. Now let's go beyond that and talk about, in a couple of instances, you had to repeatedly ask her whether she was prepared to answer the questions that were being posed to her, including definitions of words. Explain to the public who saw, people who saw, and again, didn't take kindly to how she responded to you, what actually happened there, even if for the sake of context, as you said, or was your response to my earlier question?
Yeah, I think maybe we must also take a responsibility. Look, there were 2 main issues that were being contested in the meeting there. It was the issue of beyond reproach, and the other one was the issue of credibility of the process. And my line of questioning was not meant to undermine the intellectual capacity of the minister, because she I know for a fact that she's highly intellectual. She's highly learned. She has a PhD. But me asking her about her understanding of credibility was not to undermine, was rather to give an opportunity to explain what would have uh, made her to conclude that the process was credible. Maybe that first question might have sounded like we are undermining her intellectual capacity, but that was not the point. And sitting back, I understand why she may not have felt or she may have felt that we're undermining her with that particular question, which is, again, we're taking responsibility for that because it was not to undermine. We just wanted her to, smoothly go into explaining the credibility of the process, having first explained in her own view what that meant.
But it doesn't look like that's how you felt as you were repeatedly asking her the same question. Is what you're saying now, with hindsight or on the back of other conversations that you may have had with her, with your comrades and everyone else who saw that spectacle?
No, this is in the benefit of hindsight, but I'm saying in the meeting, I only asked her once, and then when she said, referred us to Google, that's what we only said she's not going to answer. We just needed to understand that part. So we did not ask it repeatedly, that particular question. Obviously, at the time, they were very disappointed that she could have taken that moment to explain her process better because, earlier on in the meeting, I felt that, and I kept on cautioning members that let's not be militant in how we ask. Let's have a little bit of respect, afford her the respect, and let her also afford members that respect. So it came from that background that maybe let me ask her, show her that I'm very interested in this particular second part of the process that she spoke about, which is credibility, because the first one would have been beyond reproach. And I felt at the time that members would have covered that part as far as I'm concerned very well, except this part of credibility. But like I said, with the benefit of hindsight, I believe that she might have felt undermined with that particular question.
So you do not at all share the views that people have expressed, that she was rude, crude, and arrogant?
The meeting was very tough. It was very tough for the department and for her, and the meeting was long. And it's not an excuse for how she would have responded to members. But, sometimes I would like to, before I develop an opinion, I like to put myself in people's shoes. And I don't know what I would have done if I was in her shoes. I think the meeting was a bit rough for her, and she probably felt she was under attack. And naturally, when somebody feels like she's under attack, sometimes she protects herself. And I also understand the people's views that she might have been arrogant, rude, and all of that, because from where they were standing, that's what they are seeing. But I know her. I don't know her to be an arrogant, rude person. I think, I'm putting the behavior in context of what would have happened that particular day. If you look at the entire 7 hours of the meeting, and she was on the spotlight, answered. She had to answer all 10 members for literally 100 minutes because all members had about 15 or 12 minutes each, 120 minutes of questions. So it would not have been easy. So I understand where she came from, but I also understand the views of the public that this is not a person they know, and she may have been seen to be a little bit arrogant, but knowing her, I don't think that's what she meant.
And you do not think that, she undermined you as Parliament, as legislators, to which the executive must account. You don't think that she undermined the committee at all, or at no point did she, in the course of those 7 hours, actually effectively undermined you as the committee and the role you have to play, which is to hold the executive to account?
No, of course. I mean, when she refused to answer certain questions to members, I stepped in and I had to remind her that Parliament is empowered by the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, Section 55 of the Constitution, that literally says we must hold the executive, national departments, and all entities under them to account. And that does not spare her. And I had to remind her that whether she likes the questions or not, she has a responsibility to respond, which after we reminded her, she would then come and respond. So there was a point where we felt that, she felt that we are overstepping or overreaching into the executive space, but we had to remind her that no, we're not. Members have a right to ask these questions to a certain level, and she understood, to be honest. At some point, yes, to answer your question directly, at some point, yes, we felt that there was some level of where she did not want to respond, but after reminding you of the powers that the legislature have over the executive, she came back and she responded.
So we're going to leave it for now. Let me thank you very much for your time. Tebogo, Letsie, chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education.